Hello everyone, I'm Laurel and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making this adorable melting snowman, and it was so much fun to make and I think you'll really enjoy it. So let's get started. Okay, the supplies you're going to need for this project is you need some UV resin, you'll need a mold that makes these round balls. We're going to use the medium size. You'll need a mixing bowl, mixing utensil, white resin dye, and white glitter. And you're going to need a mold that makes various shapes because we need these shapes to make the little bumps and blobs and as the snowman melts. So, and we're going to create him on here. So to begin with, we're first going to mix up enough of the white to fill the middle or the medium-sized ball. Now, if you want to make smaller ones, you can make smaller ones. That's perfectly fine. I'm just going to do the medium size. I mean, I could also use this one. I'm gonna do the medium though. All right. So to begin, we're just going to put a lot of UV resin into the mixing bowl, enough to fill up that mold. If you have leftover, it's okay because you're going to need it for the rest of your project. And then just put about 3 or 4 dabs. I'm going to do, okay, I did 6. 6 dabs of the white. And then just add your glitter because you want your snowman to be sparkly. All right, and then mix it up. Now once you do this, if you want it to be more white, that's perfectly fine. Now another option would be to use mica powder, and I think that's what I'm going to add, just a little bit of mica powder to it, just to make it more of a white. And it's not going to hurt the glitter at all. It'll still be very glittery. And because of the mica powder, it's got like a little iridescent to it, so that should also, and I just need the smallest amount, like so. Just a little teeny dab of it. Now, if you'd like, you don't need to use the glitter or the resin dye. You could just use, you could just use the white mica powder instead if you have that. Okay, let me just wipe that off so I don't get it all over myself. And then we're going to mix that up. Oh, see, that makes it really pretty. Ooh, but with the mica powder, make sure you mix very well because it does clump up and we don't want that. Now, in any of the other projects that I did where I used the white resin dye and the glitter, you can, like I said, if you don't have those two things, and you do have mica powder and white, use that. You don't have to use exactly what I do. And let's see, do I want more glitter in there? No, that should be good. And then I'm just going to pour it into that center one all the way up to the top. There we go. All right, so head's done. We're going to place that into the light, and I'm going to do that for about 5 minutes because it's a bigger mold and I want to turn it over and then cure the other side. Now my idea for this is I want to add these shapes to make like little bumps and like little bloops or drops or whatever in like a, not in a circle, but in a very odd shape. So when I put the head on, it'll look like it's melting. So since we still have resin mixed up, now if you used the larger one, obviously it would have used all the resin, but it did not for the medium size. So what we're going to do is pick a few shapes. I'm going to use these smaller ones, just like the circles and the ovals, and that should work as far as the little. You don't have to fill them up all the way. You can fill them up part of the way, do whatever you want so you get different sizes. And then I'll show you how we're going to connect all of them. All right, what else looks good here? We could do a larger one. Let me see. We could do this one right here. And I'm not going to fill it all the way, just some of the way. And we could do like these little bubbly things. Those might be nice. Use those as bubbles. You might have to mix up more, but I'm just generally showing like at first what we're going to need just to start, but you may have to mix up more. Let me just wipe this off. And I got some over here. Clean that up. All right, and then as soon as the head is done curing, I'm going to put this under the light for, I'd say, about 180 seconds on one side, turn it over and do 180 seconds on the other. All right, while the head of the snowman is still curing, these are done, and I'm going to remove them. We need some more, but these will create like the kind of the bubbly, like, oh, a melting effect. So we'll just, you know, put them out because the head will be here, and then we're just gonna pour some of the UV resin around it so that it looks like it's bubbling, and you know, poor little guy is falling apart. And these won't show because these will be kind of covered and it'll just make like a bubbly effect. So I do need some more. So I'm just going to set this aside and go back and then fill up a few of these. Now remember, you don't have to fill them up all the way. You could just do partial. That should be fine. I want to do little bubbles here. I like those little bubbles. Those will come in handy, like towards the edges, because they're smaller. And then I'll just add a little bit here to this one, so I get more of a spread out, flatter one. And I think we'll do the same here. Just add a little bit, not fully. Let's see, maybe we'll do one here. Oh, let me see. I think that should be good. All right, because we do need the leftover. All right, so now this is going to go under the light for 180 seconds. Turn it over, and then another 180 seconds. Okay, so now we can unmold these. Just get your silicone mat and arrange these. Now I want his head to stick up a little bit, so I might move this one in the center so that he's got like a little bit of a raise to him, and maybe put one of these close, that one's close, and put these around so he looks like he is melting. And then a little one, and then maybe one there. You can put them close to each other if you'd like, and then one out here. Okay, that looks good. So then we'll just set that aside, and then put that in the center. I hope you can see one of my lights went out, so I'm just using what I got for now. And let me see, I can move these aside. I don't know if this light will be too bright. Is it too bright? It's not great. All right, we'll just do it this way. Okay, so now I'm just going to connect a couple of these with some UV resin, just a little bit in one section. I'm going to use my light, put my light over it, and put it for 90 seconds. And as soon as it's done curing, then I'll come back and we're going to add some more. Okay, now that that's done, it might be a little tacky, which it is, but it is somewhat cured. So now we're going to do another section. Just pour it in there, connect some of these. And then cure for 90 seconds. Okay, so that's done. And then we're gonna, oops, there's some kind of little glitters or something on there. I'm gonna have to get those off first. So I'm just gonna use a piece of masking tape. Move that out of the way. See if I can get that up. Oh, yep. Oh. I don't know why this one doesn't want to come off. Maybe that's just an imperfection in the silicone mat. I'm gonna pour a little more here to fill this in. You might have to mix up a little bit more, but not much. Looks like we might have to, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna have to move this out of the way a little bit more. Wipe this off because I don't want that on my light. And then cure for 90 seconds. All right, so that I cured for the 90 seconds, and I already started adding some of the glitter, the resin dye, and the mica powder to some UV resin. Now I'm using the same combination because I didn't want to switch it up and just use, like, you know, mica powder or whatever, because I began with the other. Okay, so now we're just going to add around the edges so that the edges, just a little dab here and there, so it blends in. You can go, oops, I didn't want that there, so I'm just gonna get that off of there. Wipe it down. I don't want that there. I want it nice and smooth. Okay. And I'm just going to go around the edges and a little bit over some of the the melting parts, just add a little bit more, and then just kind of go around them, over them, just so that it doesn't look like it's just like a little, you know, half of a bead or a cabochon. You want it to look natural, like it's melting. Like so. Now this one, I'm going to pull it down more. Make it look like it's just kind of bubbly. Okay, now see, now you can see how it's starting to look like it's just bubbly, and that little forms underneath it. It looks like it's just all melting. You can go around those pieces so it looks like a smoother transition. See how cute this is starting to look? Okay, so now, okay, I'm using up just the little bit of leftover that I have. And then just look at it and see where you might want to add just a little bit. And if you still have just a pinch left, put it in there. Go around the edges. All right, I think I got everything. And that definitely looks like it's melting something, melting snow. And then make sure there's no bubbles. And then we're going to cure this for 180 seconds. And then when I come back, I'll show you how to put the head of the snowman on. All right, now that that's cured, I can peel it off, and the underneath is still a little wet because you can't turn it over and cure it. So I'm just going to set this aside, and it's kind of lumpy on the bottom, so I just want to straighten it out a little bit. And just smooth it out. Might have to pour a little, make a little more up here, because I'm going to need it also to put the head on. I know it seems like such a process to do this, but it is fun to do, because you're creating this out of shapes, not a mold except for the head and the little bumps you're doing. So I mean, actually, you know, this you're just creating your own item, and no two are going to look alike. They're going to look a little different every time you make them. So, which that's really nice, because then if you give them as gifts, everybody's going to have their own little unique snowman, which is really great. I'm just going to mix this up. Pour it on. Make sure you get it to the edges, but not flowing over the edges. And we want it pretty well flat, because you know, wherever you're going to place it on a table or whatever, you don't want it bobbling around. You just want it nice and flat. Make sure it goes to those edges. Now if you want, you didn't have to do the white on the bottom. You could have done just clear. Up to you. I want to keep it all the same color. I don't think if you put white on it, or not white, but the clear on it, I don't think it'll really matter, and I don't think it'll, you know, show, you know, at all really, but it's all up to you how you want to do it. Because if you want to do a clear coat on the whole thing too, you can. Okay. Just going to clean off my tool, set that aside, and I want to clean this off, and I'm going to cure this for 180 seconds, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now that everything's done curing, I'm going to remove his so-called head out of, oh, and it rolled away, out of the mold, and it's just a circle, and oops, there's just having issues today. And there's a little indentation where we can just pop it right on that area there. And so then next, what we're going to do is he needs a face. So I'm going to use this little glass tile with some sticky tack. Stick his head down on there. And I'm using Art Tex acrylic markers, and then there's the brush side, and there's also just a fine point. Now this is what the markers look like, and I bought them off of Amazon. So now we need some kind of, some kind of face. So we'll just do some like wide open eyes, or should we just do like little dots, like that? Okay, that looks good. That looks good. I'm just, all right. So we got his eyes. Now I was gonna do like a little mouth that's going, oh, but I'm wondering if I should make like a little, well, I don't have anything that can make a carrot nose. You could draw a carrot nose on there. But I was thinking I got this really tiny little it's like a little circle that I could do orange and put his nose there and then put his mouth. So if I did that, we'd have to mix up some orange. And I do have some orange mica powder. So here's the mica powder. And we're just going to do this quickly because you don't really need a whole lot. And it's just that little tiny little thing. I don't know if I have anything smaller than that. I do believe that would be the smallest I have. So let's see, let me just get this. I didn't even open the orange at all, as you can see. Gotta clean off my tool and then get some orange, just a bit. I hope you could see that. Just a little tiny little bit in there. And I gotta wipe this off because I don't want orange all over me. And then we'll just mix it up. Try to get all the powder mixed up so there's no little clumps. And then we'll just put a little bit in there. Oop. Doesn't even want to drop in there. There we go. That's all we needed. Oh well. And then we're just going to cure that for like, I'll just do it 90 seconds to make sure it's cured all the way through. And let's see. We'll just clean this off. And then set this aside. And we're going to need the white. And we're also going to use, for the white, we're going to have his, after we put his head on here, we're going to have it blend in to this so it looks like he's just kind of oozing out. It's just melting, poor little guy. So, all right, so we don't need this mold anymore. We can set that aside. And then this is dry, and this is going to be done in a few seconds, his little nose, which we're just going to place on with a little bit of, I think we'll do clear resin for his nose. We could just put like a little dab here off to the side that I can just wipe up. So I'm just gonna put just a little bit. That's for his nose when we put it on. All right, I think it should be, oh, it's done. Boop, there's his nose. Sort of looks pointy, so let me see. Okay, just a little dab. There. And then I'll need tweezers for his nose so I can put it on there. There we go. And then we'll cure it for 30 seconds. And then when it's done, I'll be right back and we'll draw his mouth on. Okay, he's done curing and his nose is on there. So we need the fine side again. And we'll just do his mouth. So we'll do like, oh no, I'm melting. Oh, that looks pretty good. Now with this, you're going to have to put a top coat over it, but we're going to do that after. And we'll just top coat the whole thing. Okay, now, whoops, his head's gonna roll away. So we're gonna put him over here, and I'm just gonna add some of this on here. Just a good amount, because I want to set him on there and I want it to squish out a bit. And then put him on there, like so. Okay, and then we're going to cure that for 90 seconds. And then when that's done, we'll come back and I'll show you what else we're going to do with this. All right, so there he is. He's melting. But what we need is a little more around the edge. I got some, I must have dripped some here. Let me clean that up. All right, and then we're going to need some more around his neck area. So I'm just going to pour some, just go around a little bit. And I got to be careful because I don't want to cover up his mouth. And this also gives like another layer to this where it looks like it's melting, so this works out really well. All right, and now we're going to cure this for about 3 minutes. And then when I'm done, we'll be back and then we'll do a top coat on this. All right, so my little snowman that's melting is done. And poor little guy, huh? Look at him. Oh no. So the next step would be is to do a top coat on him so his face doesn't get messed up. So I'm going to use this Canny No Wipe top coat. And I'm just going to hold this up first. I'm going to start on his face and just go gliding it over really quickly on his face and on his nose. And I'm just going to do the rest of his head. You can use UV resin for this also, and use a brush and just brush it on. Okay. Just want to make sure that his eyes and his mouth are protected, because if water or something gets on it, it will come off. And then also, if you want, you can cover the whole thing if you'd like. If you do, just get yourself just a glass tile with some sticky tack. Lift him up, move that aside, lift him up and just stick him on there so he's elevated a little bit. And then just take your top coat or your UV resin and then just go over him like so. I mostly use this because it's easy just to brush on, but like I said, you can put some UV resin in one of your mixing bowls and get a brush only for UV resin. You can buy any type of brush. The cheaper the better. And then you can use those just for when you're using resin, and don't use them for anything else because they do get damaged. And don't buy expensive ones because they dry up and they're no good for anything. So just get some, like from the dollar store. You can get a pack of I think it's like, oh here I got some. So you can get like a pack of 3 from like Dollar Tree, and $1.25 for 3. Use those for your resin. And also, if by chance these get bad, it's not a problem. You just throw them out. They're cheap. Just throw them out. You get yourself a new pack. So, okay, so now I'm going to cure him for about 180 seconds, and then he is done. Alright, now that the snowman is done curing, you can see the poor little guy is melted up to his head. Also, if you can find maybe a little plastic hat or something, I don't know, from Dollar Tree, maybe you could put like a little top hat on him. Also, if you'd like, you could put some, which I didn't do. I wish I did now. I probably will do it. Put some little hands, like little branch hands that had melted off, and some buttons or something, or you could just leave them this way, whichever. So now he's ready to be placed, on your desk, or maybe in your holiday decorations on the table. That would look nice. Just a final note before we totally close out this video. I drew his little buttons and his little branch hands on there, and I think he is just absolutely adorable. So if you liked my video, please give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and press that bell for notifications of upcoming videos. Also, in the description box below, you will find links to my artwork, my photography, and my jewelry. Please take a look. And thank you for watching again. See you soon. Bye-bye.